What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. If you are new, please hit the like button and subscribe below. Topic: a woke company, Warner Brothers, have shown their true colors of being sick and sinister. They, first off, refused to have this guy on TV, Jay Briscoe, who a few days ago passed away in a car accident. A lot is still unknown about that situation, but they do know it was a car accident. Warner Brothers first refused this guy to have him on their show, which is AEW Dynamite, and secondly refused to air a tribute show for this individual Wednesday evening when this show comes on, okay, or Wednesday night, depending on wherever you live time zone. So Warner Brothers, and let me just say this, Warner Brothers, before I get into the Jay Briscoe's tweet a few years ago that people got so-called mad about, Warner Brothers, which is TBS, TNT, y'all ain't worth a damn if it's not for the NBA, okay? And this is why Warner Brothers loves AEW so much, because AEW brings in anywhere from 600,000 viewers weekly to upwards of 1 million some weeks. Well, it's kind of rare, but AEW is a wrestling show that comes on Wednesday and it comes on Friday night as well. And, you know, like the Wednesday show is the A show, the Friday show is the B show. So Jay Briscoe worked for Ring of Honor, who the president that owns AEW also recently bought Ring of Honor. So he owns Ring of Honor as well. Okay. Now I did see Jay Briscoe's fight at the Forum match years ago. Him and his brother were a tag team, but he also kind of split off and did his own thing. That's a whole nother story. The main thing here is that his tweets a few years ago, Warner Brothers did not want him on TV, and now they refuse to air his tribute. Now, at Wednesday's show, they showed a picture of him at the beginning, and then the show moved on, and then at the end, a mass announcer, Excalibur, mentioned something about it. But the thesis of this video is that it's really a shame that people let their political ideology skew the way that they run a business. Because instead of focusing on the bottom line, giving fans what they want, the fans wanted to see the Briscoes on TV as a tag team or a single, whatever. The fans wanted to see the Briscoes, but because of Warner Brothers' woke political views and their struggling bottom line, because again, they don't have any original shows that people go on their channel to watch, they hurt the consumer, and now they take it out on this man as he passed away. Here is his tweet that he tweeted out, a few years ago that kind of got him backlash. Here it is right here. The Delaware Senate passed a bill yesterday that allows same-sex couples to get married. If that makes you happy, then congratulations. Then he says, try and teach my kids that there's nothing wrong with that, and I'll effing shoot you. And this is where, honestly, a lot of Americans stand. I don't know where he stands at in terms of his religious beliefs and things like that, but it is an infringement on rights, especially having people conducting same-sex marriages is definitely an infringement on rights when it comes to evangelical churches. It's going to be a problem. There's going to be a huge problem. And again, I believe a Supreme Court case will be brought up against, especially this bill. Joe Biden just passed the Respect for Marriage Act, but there's no heterosexual marriage. It's only same-sex couples. And this is not an anti-LGBTQ rhetoric. People need to open up their minds and be able to speak objectively about situations. But also, same-sex marriage was already legalized, twice in the past, and now we have officially entered the slippery slope phase. Do we legalize binary marriage next? I identify as a cat. We need a cat marriage. How far down the slippery slope do we go? And this is why a lot of people say, hey, man and woman is the way it should go. And, things like that. But, of course, he got a lot of backlash for this because Jay Briscoe, is on Ring of Honor. Relatively nobody really watches Ring of Honor at the same time, but people know what AEW is because they are on TV and televised. So that's what he said on Twitter. And let me go to the actual article about Warner Brothers. Report. Now, this is from Cultaholic. They have a YouTube channel I watch it from time to time. Report. Warner Brothers Discovery banned AEW from holding a Jay Briscoe tribute episode of Dynamite. Warner Bros. Discovery banned All Elite Wrestling from holding a Jay Briscoe tribute episode of Dynamite on January 18th, similar to the Brody Lee Celebration of Life show. Dave Meltzer reported on Wrestling Observer Radio. Yeah, so they want to try to compare this to Brody Lee. Brody Lee passed away a few years ago. I believe he had a terminal illness. It was kept relatively secret, like, because he was on TV wrestling a few weeks before, and then he just all of a sudden passed away. At the beginning of the Brody Lee has had a lot of celebration shows, because again, I do tune in here and there to see what's kind of going on these shows. Brody Lee has had a lot of celebration shows. So I think the president, Tony Khan, the president of AEW, has kind of went against the grain there. Whatever they had with Brody Lee, has he said something controversial in the past? Because again, I think that this is more personal. The Jay Briscoes, they kept the Briscoe brothers off of TNT and TBS. Brody Lee was on TV. He was on TBS and TNT. So no, what's going on here with Jay Briscoe is clearly a partisan hack job, and it's really shameful. But this is let's continue this article. Instead, Ring of Honor taped a tribute show for Briscoe following tapings of Dynamite and Rampage on Wednesday night in Fresno, California. The company are also planning to honor the two-time Ring of Honor World Champion when Ring of Honor resumes their weekly TV show and at the Super Card of Honor. Okay, so that's like a pay-per-view. Now, this was in Fresno, California. Again, California, they all put their political views aside for this said incident and stood up for what's right, which is supporting Jay Briscoe. What he said on Twitter was not anti-LGBTQ. Jay Briscoe apologized for saying that. Yeah, he did apologize for saying that. And still, Warner Brothers, they're too busy worried about this new phrase, the triple bottom line. You got to take care of environmental, social, and there's only one bottom line, and that's what keeps your business open. So Warner Brothers, again, you're not a original network anyway. Like, again, it's over. That's why you continue to air old Big Bang Theory episodes, and a lot of reruns and movies that it is totally ridiculous. Without the NBA. Without the NBA on TNT, your platform is relatively dead, and I'm glad. Go woke, go broke. This is just another go woke, go broke story. Again, I wish these people would at least have sympathy in their heart for this individual that passed away. Okay, prayers to his family. I saw yesterday, one of his daughters may be paralyzed. So this is a serious incident. And for Warner Brothers to use to be so just low down really shows that in corporate America really sucks. And that's why more people should call out and be against it, because they're not about their bottom line. They're all about pushing a certain message and agenda that if you don't fall in line, they don't care when you pass away. You see what I'm saying? So it's totally ridiculous. Prayers to Jay Briscoe. I personally, I know that AEW's TV contract is running out soon. I hope they go to a whole nother network. I really do. So with that being said, hit that like button. I'm curious to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. It's CJ. I'll see y'all the next one.